Hello, my name is Joanna. You can order my books on amazon.com/author/Joanna. You can listen to my songs on broadjam.com/Joanna Ministries. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/Joanna Ministry, and you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The title of this video is Healthy Emotions, Part 3, Fear. Life Examples. Now, my first video about fear was explaining about how we have to figure out what we're feeling, allow ourselves to feel it, and then learn how to work through them and what to do with them. Now, fear, I have found, usually has to be walked out. That doesn't mean if you have real fear and a bear is chasing you, you stop and think about how you're going to deal with it. You just run. But life situations with irrational and real fears conflicting can be very confusing to someone who hasn't been taught to deal with their fears. Now, the first time I had this kind of conflicting fear was when I received a kind of a vision, I guess you could call it. I had just started going to Al-Anon, and Al-Anon is similar to AA, but it's for the families of alcoholics. But they do some of the same things that AA does, whereas they have slogans like one day at a time, easy does it, let go and let God. Well, they said if you can't think of what else to do, just repeat a slogan. If you're in an emotional state where you don't know how to deal with it. Well, I was in one of those states. It was probably the winter of 1980. I had one son at the time. He was about a year old. And I just took him down the street with me. We walked down the street to the first church we came to. It was a Baptist church. And I put him in the nursery. And I went and sat down in the pew. And all I could say was, let go and let God. Let go and let God. I just kept repeating it over and over and over again. I couldn't even say the Lord's Prayer. I couldn't even think of what the words were. And a robed figure sat down on my right side. I couldn't see the face, but I could see a white robe and like either a rope belt or a gold belt. Well, this figure reached around me with his left hand. I assumed it was a man, and hugged me, and then disappeared. Well, when it disappeared, I turned around and looked in back of me to see if anybody else saw it, but nobody seemed to be moving or acknowledging anything had happened. I was extremely comforted, but I was also very frightened. And for the next couple of years, I avoided getting too close to God. I still pursued my Al-Anon. I still, I think, read my Bible and talked to people about God, but I really wasn't sure I wanted to get that close again. Now, when I really was going through very intense spiritual times, I had read the third step prayer in the big book, which my counselor had given me to read. She said, just go read this every day for 2 weeks. And it's a surrender prayer. I don't remember the whole thing. It just was, God, I give to you my emotions, my life, my past, my future, my marriage, I give everything to you, God. And very shortly after I started reading that every day, I felt like I couldn't sleep. And I felt like there was a battle going on in my bedroom, just over my life or something. I really didn't understand what was going on. I just couldn't sleep, and I was scared. And I was laying in bed one night, and I felt like there was a basket over my bed attached to a pulley, where if I pulled the rope, the basket would go up. And I wanted to put my fear in that basket. I was talking to God, and I wanted to put my fear in the basket and pull on the rope and send it up to God to get rid of it. And I felt like he said, no, you have to feel it first. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? So I knew I couldn't get rid of it, so I just kept feeling it. Not a lot changed after that. I gradually started sleeping again. And later on, when my ex-husband came to the house one day, I knew he was very angry. He had gone to the counseling office, which he probably didn't want to go to, and had the wrong time for his appointment. And I had gotten one of those chain locks for the door, and I had locked it. Well, when he got back to the house, he demanded that I let him in. And I said no. And he says, well, I need my cigarettes, I need my magazines, I need this, I need that. And I already put his suitcase and his clothes outside. And I walked in the other room, and I could feel butterflies. And I said, okay, this is good. This is fear. I'm going to keep the door shut. And then I thought, oh, well, he can just eat grilled cheeses, and, I didn't really want to feed him. I wanted him to be responsible for his own food. And so I walked back in the kitchen, and I was going to unlock the door and let him in. And I could still feel those butterflies. So I kind of walked back and forth like 3 or 4 times, and thinking, I'll unlock it, I'll lock it, I'll unlock it, I'll lock it. And the kids were looking at me like, Mom, what's the matter with you? Dad's at the door, So I decided finally to keep the door locked because I was feeling the fear, and I wanted to make a good decision according to what I was feeling, which is what I was trying to learn in the counseling and in Al-Anon. So I firmly said no. I gave him his cigarettes, I gave him his magazines, and went back in the other room. Well, with one fell kick, he took the molding off the door and kicked the door down. And I ran out the front door. A couple of minutes later, I saw him drive off in the car. But it was a very good illustration for me of what real fear is, how to handle it, and what to do with it, and the purpose for it. So I hope that is clear. I stumbled a little bit through that, but I'd be happy to hear your comments, and we'll do this all again soon. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye now.